WK03 Solicitors. We're friendly, professional, and cost-effective. A one-stop shop for immigration affairs, as we take your case from the onset and represent you in court if necessary. Located at 659 Green Lanes, Haringey, London, N80QY. We're only 4 minutes walk from the Turnpike Lane Tube Station on the Piccadilly line. Call 0208 880 9393. That's 0208 880 9393 for more information.
Debt and co-solicitors. Legal advice you can rely on.
Hello viewers, welcome to today's edition of The Legal Matters. My name is Winnet St. Luce, and with me in the studio is Mr. Dele Olawanle of Dell & Co Solicitors. You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome too.
So sir, could you please introduce yourself and tell the viewers about this program?
This is Legal Matters. I want to say welcome back from maternity.
Thank you, sir.
It's been a long journey, 9 months plus 5 months. Baby is 5 months old, and you've done quite well being a mother for the first time. We clap for you.
Thank you, sir.
Legal Matters is about introducing you to UK immigration laws, about the system. The laws are so complicated, immigration rules so complicated that even judges, with great respect, are struggling to come to terms with it, not to talk of lawyers. So what we've been doing on this program for the past 12 years is to research the law and bring the most relevant part of the law to you. We simplify the law. It's full of jargons, it's full of vocabularies, that has nothing to do with the application you are trying to make. All you want is just to have your stamp, your biometric stamp, a biometric card, bam, for you to just travel. You go to the Caribbean or Africa, or you do, you can do what you want to do. So our purpose here is, and intention is to educate you, to say, well, this is the law, this is what you can do, this is what not to do. So it's about rights, it's about obligations. And we've been doing this for the past 12 years. I had a running battle with the immigration authority, and that opened my eye to the evil of what happened to immigrants, or what the immigrants do to themselves. Because a lot of them are supposed to get legal advice, they will not get it, they'll be looking for a quick fix. I want to say to you is that if someone came into the UK 6 months ago and want to get indefinite leave today, you go to jail.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work like that. You got to wait for a while. So get legal advice. That's what this program is about, how you can be represented. So when I was in detention years ago, I saw a lot of immigrants from over 50 countries. Some of them did not know why they were there. Some of them thought they had an application with the Home Office, not knowing that their lawyers did not make any application. Some of them were just ignorant, or they followed the advice of friends who did not know their left from their right. As a result of that, they were detained. And so when I was there, and I made up my mind that once I come out, I will do a program like this, and with a very strong team, we've been able to do this successfully for the past 12 years. If you are watching for the first time, tell your friends, even tell your enemies about it, that they should watch Legal Matters, because it is so educative. Even myself, I'm educated as I teach, because as I open up, I get wiser, ideas come, and the same thing with my colleague here. So tell your friends about this program. Save the number on your phone. You may not need it today. Your friends may need it tomorrow. Dell & Co, Legal Matters. It is the safest place to be.
Thank you, sir. So how far has Brexit affected EU citizens in the UK?
First of all, I'll say emotionally, it has affected them. It
Yes.
has unsettled a lot of them, because they don't know what is coming.
Yeah.
Even Theresa May doesn't know. She was pressing for a hard Brexit until she lost her majority. Now she's panicking. We don't even know. I think my friend here was making a joke that she's on her way out. We don't know. She may be the shortest serving prime minister, or she may be the longest serving. We don't know. So if you want to talk of Brexit, talk of Theresa May. We don't know what is happening at the moment. Now, with Brexit, the issue for EU citizens is that they don't know what the UK government will do to them. But it's going to be like the Battle of the Cowshed in a book called Animal Farm by George Orwell. The thing is that many people came to this country 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, and they uprooted themselves from their country and they have made the UK their home. Some of them have bought properties, they have children, they've intermarried. We don't know what is going to happen to them. Are they going to have a cut-off date to say, well, anyone that came 5 years ago can go back, or anyone that came 10 years, but it's going to be a tug of war. And also, there's going to be a tit for tat, because there are many Britons living abroad. I've been in Spain several times and I see a lot of them there. We don't know what is going to happen. We just wait and see. But what I'll say now is that any EU citizen that has lived there for some years, for over 5 years, should go and regularize their stay and get permanent residence. Once you get permanent residence, Brexit or no Brexit, maybe I should introduce a new grammar. You cannot be exited. You cannot be Brexited. So, so they should do that and not sit on the fence.
Thank you, sir. So for people in the EU generally, what kind of impact do you think Brexit will have on them or has already had on them?
I mean, as I said, for the EU migrants, EU citizens, it has affected a lot of them. They are unsettled. That I've seen a lot of EU citizens in the last 6 months than I have seen in the last 15 years as a lawyer.
Wow.
So it has affected them emotionally. Some Italian citizens, some of them left their country 30 years ago. Italian nationals, German nationals, Dutch nationals, and Spanish nationals. Some of them left their country 20 years ago and they've not been back there. And now they are panicking. So it has had a serious impact on them. And also when you look at people from outside the EU, they also are worried, because once they finish dealing with the EU citizens with Brexit, I believe they are going to turn on the immigrants as well. But the interesting thing with dealing with people from outside the European Union is that they are easy to control. Because once you come with a European passport, you don't have to regularize your stay. You can just start working the next day. But for people from outside the EU, you can regulate them. They have to regularize their stay. They have to get the national insurance number, and they have to get the right to work. So it is easier to regulate them. But also, we don't know. We just wait and see how it happens. But what is important is that people, whether you are an EU national or you are overstayers and illegal entrants from outside the EU, regularize your stay, get legal advice, and see what you need to do.
Thank you, sir. So what is the implication of attaining 7 years in the UK as a child?
Yes, I mean, if a child is 7 and is already a British citizen, maybe born here, children like that are not affected. But when we talk of the 7-year rule, we are talking of children who were brought into the UK at an early age and has now lived there for 7 years on a continuous basis, or children that were born here to immigrants that have no legal status. So children like that can apply. A family like that can apply, relying on their children, whether under the 10-year parent route or the 5-year parent route, because the 10-year parent route takes about 10 years or more for you to get indefinite leave to remain. The 5-year parent route takes 5 years to get the parent route to get indefinite leave to remain, but you have to pass the English language test and things like that. People should get legal advice if they want to know more about that. So what the government are saying is that if a child has lived in the UK for 7 years on a continuous basis, or from birth, or they were brought there and they've lived there for 7 years and they are still under 18, that they will not seek to remove them from the UK. Now, that does not mean they will not remove them. It is not automatic. There is another limb of that says, well, the child has lived there for 7 years and it will not be reasonable to remove the child from the UK. So reasonableness has got no definition. Now, it depends on it is a case by case basis. It depends on the particular circumstances of the family. Is the child sick? Is the child getting treatment in the UK? How long have the parents left their home country? Do they have home or resources? And a lot of things. It is a case by case basis. And then so the fact that a child has lived there for 7 years does not mean it is automatic. So it's not an application that anyone can just take a form and say, I want to apply, my child is 7. You are likely to be refused. There must be representation, proper representation, to say why it will not be reasonable to remove the child. So it is good, but it is not presented on a plate. It has to be fought for. There has to be proper representation. There has to be supportive evidence, objective evidence, documentary evidence, and a proper representation explaining the particular circumstances of why it will not be reasonable to remove the child. So it is good, it is bad at the same time because it is not automatic.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to Dell & Co Solicitors. We can professionally help you in the following areas: obtaining and/or extending your visa, asylum, humanitarian protection and discretionary leave, application for overstayers, immigration and asylum appeals, judicial review at the High Court, Tier 1 to 5 under the point system, including post-study work, fiancé visas, settlement applications, indefinite leave to remain, ILR, neutralisation, citizenship, entry clearance and appeal against visa refusals abroad, reconsideration of visa refusals abroad. In addition, we do other areas of law like family, traffic offences, employment, civil and criminal litigation and advocacy. If you need legal advice, call Dell & Co Solicitors now on 0208 880 9393 or visit our website www.dellsolicitors.co.uk. Dell & Co Solicitors, legal advice you can rely on.
My next question to you is in relation to overstayers. How can they regularize their stay?
Overstayers, and someone may be sitting there. I saw someone who came to me sometimes ago and said, well, I'm an illegal entrant. I said, how? He then brought out his passport. He had an expired visa on it. I said, well, you are not an illegal entrant. You are an overstayer. You came into this country and your visa expired. So those are overstayers. Then the guy had a relief. He was relieved, but I said, you also are an illegal entrant. You are cousins. Because illegal entrants came into the UK without a visa, maybe using another person's identity, but both of them, they are in the same boat. They have no current leave to remain in the UK. The only thing that is just the difference is that the overstayer is traceable. We can say, well, this was how he came, when he came. There's a documentary evidence to document his entry or his or her entry. Now, these two categories, first of all, they need to get legal advice. People become overstayers in different ways. Either you came and you did not you came to the UK with leave, and when your visa expired, you did not attempt to regularize your stay at all. That's an overstayer. And someone also may come, make an application, and the leave may be renewed for a while, and after a while, the application refused, the person becomes an overstayer. People like that on both sides have to get legal advice. The importance of legal advice is this: when you go to meet a lawyer that knows what he is doing, first of all, he will ask you questions. You will explain your particular circumstances. What you cannot tell anybody, you can tell a lawyer. So that through that he will understand your situation. He will then advise you, what can you do to regularize your stay? What were the errors you made in the past? What are the mistakes you should avoid in the future? I.e., for example, in the past, maybe you were destroying your documentary evidence, and when you get to a lawyer, he may say to you that you need documentary evidence to support your case. And you may turn around and tell the lawyer that, oh, I've lost my documents, I've turned them, I threw them away. The lawyer will tell you, from this point on, stop destroying your documents. So you have gained an advantage by going to a lawyer. Then the lawyer will tell you the type of application you can make and the documents you will need to support the application. Then the lawyer will also tell you how much it's going to cost, so you can go and prepare. So that is what they can do. And once you prepare, make an application. It is important to pray and to go to church and to take authority over taking over the land. But if you don't make an application, you are a robber. And the visa will not come and meet you at home until you make an application. It's like not saying hello to a woman that you want to marry, that I'm interested in you. Will the woman be following you home?
No.
So I trust you that you didn't just follow the man. He had to yap and get you talking. So the same thing, you need to make an application to regularize your stay, know what to do, and do it. And yes, some people may not meet the number of years that is required. For example, there is the requirement that says, well, you have to live here for 20 years under the private life, and you should have been here for 20 years. We've seen people who have lived there for 12 years, 5 years, 7 years, that were granted. It depends on an individual circumstances and the case worker. If you don't get it, you may succeed on appeal, but you should get legal advice and do what they are told to do.
Then everything will be fine.
I think so.
Thank you, sir. So, for people who need to strengthen their application and get a decision, for people who have outstanding applications, yes, what can they do?
It is fair point. I remember before you went on maternity last year, you asked this question. At that time, the Home Office were very quick at taking decisions. When you make an application, within 2 or 3 months, they will have decided the application. So to strengthen the application then was difficult unless you have an immediate documentary evidence to give to the Home Office within those 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
But now they've gone to sleep again. Application is now taking longer. So when you talk of strengthening, so it may well be that by the time you made the application and you are waiting, you've gotten married, you can notify them that I'm now married. It may well be that you had become pregnant, you can notify them that you are now pregnant. It may well be that you are giving birth to a child, you can notify them. Things do change over time.
Yeah.
So for people who have an outstanding application, some of them have been with them for years, some of them have been with them for the last 12 months or 8 months or 9 months. You can strengthen the application by updating them with your situation. It may well be that the update that you give to them will strengthen your case or will cause them to take a different decision. And if they are not aware that your circumstances have changed in a way that could affect the way your application is considered, they will not be able to decide it, and you cannot blame the Home Office for not taking into account circumstances that they were not aware of. So if you have had an application for a while and your situation has changed, let them know.
Okay.
Send them the birth certificate, send them the marriage certificate, even if it is the latest scan of the pregnancy, send it to them, and leave them to deal with the rest.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So for people who have been refused in the past, what can they do to progress their case?
Interesting question. I keep saying I saw. I can only talk from my experience. I saw a client in the past that said that they refused her application 11 years ago, and she gave up. And by the time I saw her, she had lived in the UK for 20 years or 21 years. And she said she's giving up, she will just walk. And I said, well, you are now qualified to apply. Do you have documentary evidence of your stay? She said, yes. So you were refused in the past. I needed to see those documents, letters from the Home Office. She brought everything and we put in an application. And within 4 months, she was granted the right to stay. Within 2 weeks, she had traveled to her home country after getting the status. Now, the fact that an application was refused in the past does not mean that is the end of the road. Changed circumstances could lead to a changed decision that is positive.
Thank you, sir. So what is immigration health surcharge?
That is the invention of the UK government to support the NHS, and that is an additional fee to pay. If someone is applying for indefinite leave to remain, the person doesn't have to. If someone is applying for indefinite leave to remain, the person doesn't have to pay. If you are applying for indefinite leave to remain, you don't pay immigration health surcharge. But if you are applying for leave to remain, for example, leave to remain under the 5 years or 10-year route, you pay an additional £500. Plus the Home Office fee is $993. The additional fee is the immigration health surcharge is £500. They say, well, if you pay it, then you will be allowed to use the NHS when you get leave to remain. But if your application is refused, in most cases, it will be refunded. You get your money back until you make a successful application. So it's an additional fee. So let me work it out this way. The application fee for leave to remain under the 10-year route or 5-year route is £993. The immigration health surcharge is different. It is £500. That comes to a total of 1493. Now, if you have a family of 3, you pay 1493 times 3. A family of 4, 1493 times 4. So it's an additional fee payable, and it makes making an application very expensive.
Yes.
But I believe I've explained it to the best of my ability.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thanks for all, your wisdom and all the advice that you've given us today on legal matters. So, out of everything you've said, what is your final word for our viewers today?
My final word is, first of all, don't change the dial. Legal matters is the most important place to be. You may not have immigration issues, you may not have any difficulties. Get the advice and become and talk to your friends about it. Also, there's a disclaimer that you don't just hear us here and say, oh, you heard the lawyer and the colleague, they said this on legal matters, and you go and make a silly application. No, get legal advice. What the advice given here is a general advice, and it does not apply to everybody. And also, because we don't know your particular circumstances, we have not advised you in full. So you need to get further legal advice, book an appointment, and then come and see us in confidence. And feel free to call the line and then I believe my colleague will talk more on that. But what I want to say to you is that if you are there and you are just joining in, and we've been talking on immigration matters, which may or may not benefit you now, but could benefit you in the future, so that you can prepare. Don't engage in anything criminal. Don't do anything that is inimical to the health of the state. If this place is your home, don't set it on fire. If you don't have status, get legal advice, regularize your stay, and become free for once.
Thank you, sir. And once again, thank you so much to all of our viewers for tuning in to another episode of Legal Matters. So if you're now just turning on your TV and seeing us for the first time, today we discuss things such as the immigration health surcharge and refusals. If you would like further information, feel free to contact Mr. Dele Olawanle of Dele & Co Solicitors. Get the right information, get professional help, and contact Mr. Dele Olawanle. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, be sure to follow us on social media. The social media links are on the screen, and also contact us. The number is on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into The Legal Panorama, presented by Dele Olawanle of Dele & Co Solicitors. Talk to Dele & Co Solicitors. We can professionally help you in the following areas: obtaining and/or extending your visa, asylum, humanitarian protection and discretionary leave, application for overstayers, immigration and asylum appeals, judicial review at the High Court, Tier 1 to 5 under the point system, including post-study work, fiancé visas, settlement applications, indefinite leave to remain, ILR, neutralisation, citizenship, entry clearance and appeal against visa refusals abroad, reconsideration of visa refusals abroad. In addition, we do other areas of law like family, traffic offences, employment, civil and criminal litigation and advocacy. If you need legal advice, call Dele & Co Solicitors now on 0208 880 9393 or visit our website www.delsolicitors.co.uk. Dele & Co Solicitors, legal advice you can rely on.